So this month's hat is based off the new Princess Charlotte, her little bonnet that she came out of the hospital with. So we have our mock cables and our garter stitch hat with our knitted hem. So if you want to find out how to make a bonnet fitting for a princess, then keep watching. So for this you'll need your needles. These are size 5 straight needles. You'll need a sewing needle and your yarn. So this is a 3-ply baby yarn. It's Bernet Softee Baby Yarn in soft yellow. So you want to start off by taking your yarn and your needle and cast on 60 stitches. So once you've got your stitches cast on, now we're just going to work stockinette for 1.5 inches to work the bottom hem for the hat. So I'm just going to begin with a purl row, and then once I work that all the way across, I'm going to do my knit row and continue those until I get my 1.5 inches. And you can work the hem as thick or as thin as you like, or even you don't have to put it, or you can even change it to a ribbing or seed stitch, whatever you see fit for your own hat. When you get to your final purl row, this is an optional step if you want to sew up your hem while working your last purl stitch. If you want to, you can follow ahead with me now. If you'd rather not, you just continue and you can sew it up later, because we'll have to sew the finishing hem anyway. So if you'd rather just sew them both, you can continue on. If not, I'll show you how you can hem it while you work your last purl row. So you go into your stitch like a normal purl, but then you're going to fold up your worked piece of knitting, and you're going to pick up a row from your cast on edge. You're going to pick up a stitch from your cast on edge, and then you're going to work your purl stitch like normal. So you're just going to wrap it, and you're going to pull through your cast on edge and then pull the loop through the stitch on your needle, and then you repeat that across. So go through your next stitch and pick up the next cast on stitch, purl and pull through the cast on stitch, and then pull through your working stitch. And you can see we're starting to fold up our hem. And you don't have to do it this way, it's just whatever's easiest for you. But I will be showing you how to then sew it up later. Then you're just going to work that all the way across. So now whether you've worked your hem or you're going to sew it up later, we should be on the right side of our work. So now we're going to begin our pattern. So for row 1, you want to start with knit 15. And this hat has garter stitch, reverse stockinette, and mock cables. So I'll have the video for the mock cables down below if you need to know a little more about them before working this. Now we're going to purl 2. Knit 2, purl 2, knit 2, purl 2, knit 10, purl 2, knit 2, purl 2, knit 2, purl 2, knit 15. For row 2, you want to begin with knit 17, purl 1, then we're going to yarn over, and because we're going to do a yarn over going into a purl, you want to make sure that you put your yarn over your needle and between back to the front so we can lock our yarn over in place. Then we're going to purl 1, knit 2, purl 1, yarn over, so go over your needle and back in between to the front, purl 1, knit 14, purl 1, yarn over, purl 1, knit 2, purl 1, yarn over, purl 1, knit 17. For row 3, we're going to knit 15, purl 2, knit 3, purl 2, knit 3, purl 2, knit 10, purl 2, knit 3, purl 2, knit 3, purl 2, and knit 15. For row 4, you want to start a knit 17, purl 3, knit 2, purl 3, knit 14, purl 3, knit 2, purl 3, knit 17. For row 5, you want to knit 15, purl 2, knit 3, and now you want to take that first stitch that we knitted from the 3 that's on our right needle, and we're going to pull it over and off our right needle over the 2 stitches. Then you want to purl 2, then you're going to knit 3, then you're going to take that first stitch that we knitted and pull it over the 2 and off our right needle. And that's how we're creating our mock cable. Then you want to purl 2, knit 10, purl 2, then you want to knit 3, take that first stitch on our right needle that we knitted, pull it over the 2 stitches after it and off the right needle, purl 2, knit 3, take that first stitch that we knitted on our right needle and pull it over the last 2 stitches and off the right needle, purl 2, knit 15. And there's the start of our pattern. So now you're just going to go ahead and repeat rows 2 through 5 6 times, or until your piece measures from the hem approximately 4 inches. So once you've worked all your repeats and you have approximately 4 inches from your hem on up, and measure over the cable part, this is what the right side of your work will look like. But you should have ended on a wrong side row. So now from here, we're going to start the shaping of our hat. So for row 1, we're going to knit across 42 stitches. So I believe that the shaping technique that I'm using is called short row shaping. So once you've knitted 42 stitches, then we're going to knit 2 together, and we're going to turn our work. So then row 2, you want to slip your first stitch, then you're going to knit 28, So once you've worked your 28, then we're going to knit 2 together. And then turn. So now we're just going to keep repeating what we just did on row 2 until we've incorporated all of our side stitches. So you want to start by slipping the first stitch and then knit across 28 stitches. Then once you've worked your 28, then you're going to knit the next 2 stitches together. And then repeat. So turn your work, slip your first stitch, knit across 28, and then end with a knit 2 together. And you're just going to continue that until all your side stitches have been incorporated and you end up with a total of 30 stitches. So after you've worked all your side stitches in and you're down to your 30 stitches, your hat will look like this. So you have your shaping right here where we were stitching them together. You have your design here on the back. And you have your 30 stitches still on your needle. So now we're going to begin our hem. So you want to pick up and knit 15 stitches along this side. So you've worked to the left and you have this remaining end of your hat. So you want to pick up 15 stitches along here. So I'm picking it up in every ridge from the garter stitch rows. You can even count ahead to make sure you space them evenly. But we're picking up 15. Then we're going to turn our work. So now we're working our hem, so we want to work in stockinette stitch now. So we're going to go ahead and purl across 45 stitches, which should take us across all these live stitches and leave us to where we're going to pick them up on this end. So you just want to begin by purling across your 45 stitches. So once you finish your 45, then we're going to go ahead and pick up 15 along this edge. But we're not going to go in as to knit because we want to keep the hem, or we want to keep the seam on this end, which is the inside or wrong side of our hat. So when you go to pick up your stitches, you want to come from behind towards you. Wrap as if you're purling and pull it out through the front. So come from behind towards you, purl it, pull it out. Because we want to keep the hem on the inside. So we have a nice smooth edge on the front side of our hat. So once you've picked up your 15, then we're just going to turn our work. And now, like our last hem, we're going to work stockinette. So we're going to knit a row, purl a row until we get our 1.5 inches for our hem. And then we're going to bind off. So when you finished your hem and you've bound off, you want to pull an extra length of yarn and thread your tapestry needle. Then you're going to turn your hat so you're looking at the wrong side or the inside of your hat. You're going to fold over your hem halfway and line it up with the row that you picked up your stitches from. You can hold your hat however makes it comfortable to pick up the stitches. So where your yarn is coming from, you want to then pick up a stitch in the hat and then pick up the 2 bars, like a basic stitch, on your hem. Then you want to go back to your hat and pick up some yarn and then pick up the 2 stitches from the hem. And that is how you're going to sew the hem of your bonnet. If there is another preferred method that you have for sewing up your knitted projects, you can go ahead and do whatever fits. This is how I do mine. And you just want to sew up the hem along the whole of your hat. So when you get to the center where you don't have a visible line of your hem, just fold it in half, and however it lays evenly, then just go ahead and tack it down. So there's your finished hem. Then you just want to sew the corners together. And now it's time to make the strap. Then once you finish your tie, you're just going to tack it on the corners of your hat. So I hope you guys enjoyed this hat, and send me some pictures. I would love to see your version of it. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.